Hello pattern lovers, you're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video we'll be drafting this. It's just a very stylish notched collar blazer. Yeah, very stylish. So in this tutorial I'll be taking you through the process of drafting this, the easiest way to go about it to have exactly what you see here. And if you like this, kindly watch to the end and let's do this. So on my pattern paper, I've gone ahead to mark out the space. I have a space going to the center front of about 3 inches. Then this one from the shoulder up is about 4.5. You're going to need those space. So my measurement to start here and here. Yeah. Now I'm going to start from the shoulder line and go down to the bust point, to the half length. Then from the half length, I'm going to count to 12 inches. Yeah, I'll add extra 12 inches to the half length, and that would be the top length. Okay, then I'm going to come to this other side and mark the same thing, 10 inches as the bust point, the half length of 17 inches, and then the top length of 29 inches. Then I'm going to mark it, all of them out this way. Now I'll come to the shoulder line and take the shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'm using 15 divided by 2, that's 7.5. Then I'll be going down to 9.5. My chest line is 8.5 normally, but I'll be adding extra 1 inch for ease. You need all the ease that you can get. So whatever you usually use as your chest line, yeah, you're going to add between half inch to 1 inch to that point. Me, I choose to do 1 inch. Okay, so I have 9.5. Then I'm going to mark it out this way. Now I'm going to mark 3 inches here as the neck width. Then I'll come to the shoulder, that's the shoulder line, and go down to 1.5. Okay, we'll be making room for the shoulder pad later on, but for now let me not confuse you. I use 1.5 for the shoulder slope. Then I'm going to just slant it to the neck width this way. Now I'm going to get the midpoint of this line. Yeah, then on that point I'll be going in by half inch. Then I'm going to use my ruler to connect from that point to the shoulder tip like this. Then I'm going to curve the other part just like this. The next thing I'll be doing now is to go up by 1 inch, and that would be for the shoulder pad. Okay, I assume that I want to use a shoulder pad of 0.75. So what I normally do is add extra 0.25 to it on the pattern. So instead of marking the exact 0.75, I'll be doing 1 inch, and the other 0.25 is to just create a space or ease for the shoulder pad to do its work freely without the shoulder pressing it. But that is totally optional. But basically, you're adding 0.25 to whatever height of shoulder pad that you intend to use. Okay, so now I have a new shoulder slope, and after marking it out, you see that I extended the line. I'm going to come out here by half inch. Then I'm going to blend it into the already curved armhole. Just go ahead and find a suitable part on your curve to blend it into the armhole curve this way. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to get the bust span, and mine is 7 inches. When you divide that by 2, it's going to be 3.5. But looking at what we have on the thumbnail, you see that the dart is going to the side. Yeah, the dart is about 2.5. When you look at it from the waistline, you see that the space between the dart line and the side seam line is about 2.5. So you're going to take note of that. But what I'm doing here is adding just 1 inch to my bust span. My bust span is 3.5, but I'm doing 4.5 here. Okay, your nipple to nipple, if that is what you know it as. Okay, so I mark it on the bust point line, on the waistline, and also on the top length. Then I'm going to mark a line straight to connect the point this way. Now on the waistline on both sides, I'll be marking 0.75, and that is 1.5 for the dart. Then I'm going to go down from the waistline to 6 inches, and that would be the dart length. Okay, now I'm going to extend the dart legs this way to meet the bust point and also the 6 inches down. Then I'm going to come to the chest line and take the bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra half inch for ease. Okay, then I'll come to the waist and take my exact waist measurement divided by 4 plus the dart intake. At this point, you can even decide to take out about 0.25, yeah, on the waistline or half inch, so that when you button up, it's going to like cinch the waist. Then on the top length, I'll be doing the hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1.5. Okay, you can do 2 inches or even 2.5, depending on how much you want it to flare on the hip, but that works for me. Now I'm going to get the midpoint of the new shoulder line, yeah. Then I'm going to connect it to the bust span on the bust point this way. Then for the bust dart, I'll be doing 1.5 because that is the difference between my front length and the back length. Okay, then I'm going to just slant it out this way. Now I'm going to come to the neckline and come down to 3.5. My standard neckline is 3 by 3, yeah, but I'm going down to 3.5 here as the neck depth, because looking at it on the thumbnail, that's what they have here. That would work for me for what I have on the thumbnail. Okay, so basically I have 3 by 3.5 as the neck width and the neck depth. So I use 3 inches as the neck width. When I get to the back, I'll be using the same 3 inches as the neck width for the back. Okay, so now I'm going to come here and go up by that same 3 inches. This part will be going to the neckline. Yeah, the back neckline. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I have a straight line there. Yeah, then I'm just going to square out this line. From here to the center front is about 3 inches. Then I'm going to make sure I also have 3 inches going towards that point on the center front. Then I'm going to square it out this way. Now I'm going to come to the neck width here and go out by half inch. Like I say, this part will be going to the neckline, so you don't want it straight. It's going to be slanted so that it will blend in to the neckline. Okay, so that's my half inch. Then I'll come here and go up by half inch. Do you get that? So I went out here by half inch, then I went up on the other side by half inch. Okay, then I'm going to just connect the 2 points, just as you can see me do it here. Now I'm going to start from this new line and go in by 3 inches because that's just the width of the collar that I want. What we have on the thumbnail, the collar, the one going to the back, is not too wide, so 3 inches will do it for me. Then I'm going to come here on the neck depth. From the center front, I'll be going out by 2.5. Yeah, and that would be also the collar width for the one going to the front. Okay, now I'm going to get the midpoint of this 2.5. I'll try to make sure I have the midpoint by bending my measuring tape this way. Then I'm going to go up here by 0.75. You can decide to do 1 inch, but we are trying to create this space that we have here. Looking at it here, you see that it's about 1.25. And what happens is that it's not what you marked on the pattern that you have after sewing. It tends to go wider. So 0.75, by the time I'm done, I'm going to have about 1 inch. So if you want the 1.25, you're going to do 1 inch. So when you are done sewing, you have about 1 inch or 1.5. Then on this new slanted line, I'll be going out by 1.5. Okay, then I'm trying to make sure I have my 0.75 space, which I said you can do 1 inch, 1.25 or 1.5 if that is how much space you wanted there. So now I have my 1.5 here, and I'm going to connect these 2 points. I'll place my curve this way, and at this point, do not make this part too curvy. Okay, go ahead and place your curve in a way that it's not too curvy and it's not straight. So we use 1.5 because we do not want it to get to the 2.5. Yeah, that's the collar, the one that will be laying on the chest. I don't know if you get that. So you can even do 1 inch to make it even shorter, just as it is on the thumbnail. Then I'm going to come here on the bust point. I'll be going out by 0.75. And at this point, if you're doing your normal blazer, what you do here depends on the size of button that you want to use. So what we have on the thumbnail, they use a very small button. So half inch will do the work for the button allowance. So I have 0.75 on the bust point and half inch on the waistline. And I'm going to place my curve this way. Yeah, it's not too curvy, just that I don't like making that part straight. That's why I'm placing my curve this way. So I'm going to just place it this way and connect it like this. Then I'm going to extend from that 0.75 to the half inch I have on the waist. Okay, then later on I'll be blending it in. I'll be blending from the 0.75 to the half inch I have on the waist, just so it's not looking like this. So you can decide to freehand just as I'm doing it here. You can also decide to use your curve and place it this way. You're just trying to blend it in. There is nothing too serious about it. And after doing that, this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to come to the hem and go out by 2 inches. Now you see the space I have from that point to the dart leg. That is why I said you can decide to take your dart leg going to the side the more, okay, so that this part won't be too close. But I have 2 inches there. Then I'm going to come down here by 1.5 from the waistline. I'm coming down by 1.5, so that when you button up, your tummy won't be showing, because you are going to be slanting from this point now to the 2 inches I have on the hem. Can you see that? So these 2 inches that we take out on the hem now, by the time we open it up, is going to be 4 inches. So if you want more, you can do more. Then I'm going to come to this side and go down to my hip line. I'll be doing 8 inches, which is my hip line, and also 7.5. That's half inch above my hip line. I want to see the effect of the two. First, I'll connect the 8 inches and then I'll connect the 7.5. Then I'll decide which one I want to go for. So looking at it now, I think the 8 inches would do it, but I'll be making it curvier just so it looks like what we have on the thumbnail. So I'm going to place my curve this way, exactly on my hip line. Yeah, can you see? It's more curvier. It's more curvy now. So basically, you're going to connect this to your hip line exactly, or you come up between half inch to 1 inch. But you don't want it looking jump up because it's going to flare on that point. Do you get that? So that's pretty much about it. I'm going now to cut this out, but first we'll be closing the bust that. I'll be transferring that to the shoulder this way. So I'm going to slant this shoulder line all the way to the bust point, and then I'm going to create a crease line on the bust that. Yeah, I'll first fold, then I'm going to place it on the bust point, then use my water glue to hold it down. Yeah, now I'm going to blend in this part because you can see that it's now distorted. Then I'm going to cut out the pattern. Be careful when you're cutting the neck part. Okay, can you see? And then also know where you're cutting the shoulder slope, so you do not go ahead, do not cut your normal shoulder slope. Yeah, then I'm going to cut the rest of the pattern out, just as you can see me do it here.
Leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus. I will be the light in your life, you'll see clear. I'll be your inspiration.
So after cutting it out, this is what it looks like. Can you see how cute this came out? So I'm going to keep this aside, then we'll work on the back pattern. For the back pattern, I already have my shoulder line, the waistline, and then the blouse length, and this part to serve as the center back. That's where I'll be taking the measurements from. So I'm going to start now from the center back. I'll be taking the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'm going to go down to the 9.5 I'm using as the chest line. I'll get the shoulder measurement divided by 2 again on that point, and then I'm going to mark out the line this way. Now I'm going to mark my 3 inches neck width and then go down to 1 inch for the neck depth. This is the back pattern, okay? So 1 inch, half inch, 0.75 will do it. Either you do 1 inch or you do 0.75 or you do half inch. Then I'm going to come here and go down to half inch for the shoulder slope, just half inch. And then I'll slant it to the neck width like this. Then I'll carve out the armhole just like this. It's pretty simple. So measuring from the shoulder line to the half length, I have 15.5 against the 17 inches I used as the front half length. Okay, then measuring from the shoulder to the top length, I have 27.5 instead of the 29 inches I used as the top length for the front. The other 1.5 difference is what I used as the bust dart. Then I'm going to come here on the waistline from the center back. I'll be going in by 0.75 to contour the center back. Then I'll start from the waistline and go down to 8 inches, which is my hip line. Then I'm going to connect from here to that point and then place my curve this way and curve the other part out this way. This is just to basically contour the center back. There's not going to be any zipper there. Yeah. Then I'm going to start from this new center back contour line and take the bust measurement divided by 4 plus the half inch we are adding as is. Then I'll take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch extra for the dart allowance. I'll be taking in that later. Then I'm going to come to the top length and take the hip measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.5 we are adding as is. Okay. Yeah, the extra. Then I'm going to connect them out this way. I'll come here now on the side and go down to the 8 inches, the same thing I used to curve out the hem for the front. Okay. Then I'll come here. You can decide to maintain your 8 inches, but I want to just add extra 1.5 and I'm doing 9.5 here. It's totally optional. Just maintain your hip line if you so wish, but I want it this way. Just a bit stylish. There's nothing too serious. And you can see how I'm placing my curve just to give me the style line that I want. And that's pretty much about it. Now I'm going to start from the center back contour line and go into the 4.5 I use as the bust span for the front. Okay. Then I'm going to go up 6 inches and go down 6 inches, and that would be that length. Measuring from the center back to that point, whatever value I have, I'm going to transfer it to the 6 inches up and then 6 inches down just to have a straight line. Then on both sides of this new line, I'll be marking half inch. That's the 1 inch we added to the waist measurement as the dart allowance. So I'm extending the point this way just to have my dart. Then I'm going to extend the shoulder slope line. On that point, I'll be going out by half inch and then I'll be blending it in to the already curved armhole. I'm going to place my curve the way it's suitable and then blend it in. Then I'm going to get the midpoint of this new shoulder slope line and then I'm going to connect it to the already existing dart and then also extend the dart all the way to the hem this way. And I think that's pretty much about it. There's not going to be any zipper, so there's no zipper allowance. I'm going now to cut out this pattern. The back is pretty much straightforward. And also, that's pretty much about this pattern. The sleeve is a two-piece sleeve and it's not going to be part of this tutorial. If you want me to make a tutorial on jacket sleeve or blazer sleeve, let me know in the comments. But that's pretty much about this pattern. You're going to cut this out and add the necessary allowance, use the suitable fabric and also the right interface for your fabric. They use tweed fabric for the one on the thumbnail. Okay, if you have any questions, do well to drop them in the comments and I'll do well to respond to them. And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.